breadth of Billy Joel's career and relationship with the Garden goes back 40 years to when he first took the stage in 1978, when he played 3 consecutive dates as part of his 52nd Street tour. And as we know, he was just getting started. Billy holds both of Madison Square Garden's performance records for most lifetime performances by any artist and for most consecutive performances by any artist, which brings us to tonight's extraordinary accomplishment. Since that first performance more than 4 decades ago, more than 2 million fans have had the great privilege of attending a Billy Joel concert at Madison Square Garden. More than 2 million! As a lifelong fan of Billy Joel's music myself, I've spent my career as a New York radio DJ following his career, which led me time and time again to Madison Square Garden. In 2013, I was honored to be here when Billy was named Madison Square Garden's first and only music franchise, and I was honored to join Billy on stage to celebrate one of his many record-breaking shows by helping to raise celebratory banners to the famed Garden rafters. And today, I'm again honored to be here for yet another remarkable moment for this legendary musician and native New Yorker. And it's not just a remarkable moment for him, it's a remarkable moment for all of us here in New York City. Now, would you please welcome the Executive Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Madison Square Garden Company and a big rock and roll fan through and through, Jim Dolan.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Governor Cuomo, for once again joining us to celebrate the singular accomplishment of one of music's greatest entertainers and one of New York's greatest sons. To begin, I want to welcome Chaz Palminteri. I'd also like to recognize and thank Billy's longtime agent and friend of the Garden, Dennis Arfa. Where are you, Dennis? There he is. As well as the rest of Billy's team, many of whom have been to all 99 Billy Joel shows at Madison Square Garden. Now, I am enormously proud of the role Madison Square Garden has played in the entertainment industry. But 100 shows by a single artist in a single venue is about far more than Madison Square Garden. What Billy Joel has accomplished will quite possibly never be accomplished again by anyone in any of our lifetimes. It is that big. Think of the legends of yesterday and today. When you think about them and when you think about rock and roll and pop, none of them have ever come close to this milestone, ever. It is a testament. It's a testament, first, I think, to the music, Billy's music, spanning multiple styles from rock and Latin and a cappella to even a lullaby, to his piano playing, when he makes it sound like a carnival, or sometimes when he makes you feel like you're in a dark alley. And then it's also a testament to the man himself, to Billy, to performing 100 times on the same stage, making each performance fresh and engaging. And finally, I guess it's a testament to New York, which goes to prove that New York is the premier market for music performance. We are enormously proud that Billy played those 100 shows at the Garden, his home. And we know his fans are too, since they haven't shown any signs of slowing down. Congratulations, Billy. We are in awe of this accomplishment, as is the entire music industry. And now it is my distinct honor to introduce another great Billy Joel fan and native New Yorker, the distinguished governor of the great state of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. What a great day. And first, let me thank Jim Kerr for his leadership in being here today. Talk about an icon. Jim Kerr is an icon, and I grew up with him, and I'm sure so many others. Let's give Jim a round of applause and thank him for what he does. to Chaz and to Billy and Alexis, Billy's better half. Let's give her a round of applause. She's also the mother of two young stars, Della Rose and Remy Ann, and I have the honor of being their godfather. And don't worry, Chaz, as soon as they're old enough, I'm going to take them to Arthur Avenue for a real meal and let them understand the Italian culture. To Jim Dolan, who really had a vision when he thought about Billy Joel and the Billy Joel franchise. I think it was Jim's sweet spot. It put together his knowledge of music, his appreciation of music, his knowledge of the arena, and it has been a phenomenal success. I also want to thank Jim and his team at Madison Square Garden, who have been working with the state on improving Penn Station for the Long Island Railroad, and they have been a great corporate citizen, so I want to thank them for that. I'm going to present Billy with a proclamation in a moment, but a couple of words first. 100th show. I mean, it really is a breathtaking accomplishment when you think of it. But I'm not surprised. Billy is an international icon. You get tourists coming here from around the globe, and it is a perfect attraction when you're coming to New York. What I find in some ways is more fascinating is 40 years in this town, which is one of the toughest audiences on the globe, as you just heard from that gentleman. And after 40 years, the same tough hometown crowd loves him. Why? Because there is an authenticity about Billy and his music. You can't fool New Yorkers for 40 years. He is New York. He has the New York rhythm. And for all our differences in New York, there is a commonality, there is a humanity, there is a unity that connects us all. And Billy has touched that common humanity. He's done it in his songs, and he's done it in his life. It's who he is. He is a quintessential New Yorker. He's a quintessential middle-class, working family New Yorker from Long Island or from Queens or from upstate New York. That's who he is. It's who he has always been, and he has never changed. He still is riding motorcycles. He still loves to go fishing off Long Island when he gets a chance. He's still with the old team and still hanging out with friends from the old neighborhood. With all the fame and all the lights, he still is the man he was when he started. And that's what New Yorkers feel. And he's always been there for New York, whether it's after 9/11, whether it's after Hurricane Sandy, whether it is helping to keep the environment clean, whether it's fighting breast cancer. Whenever New York has asked, Billy has been there. So we like to say, I Love New York is the New York icon. The icon for today would be New York loves Billy Joel. And I'm going to present him a proclamation that says, whereas the Empire State is proud to join in celebrating historic achievements in the lives of distinguished New Yorkers who have helped shape our cultural history and have made important, lasting contributions to the lives of our residents. Whereas one of the most iconic and influential figures in American music history, Billy Joel, has had an immeasurable impact on the entertainment industry as a singer-songwriter. Whereas winner of 6 Grammy Awards, a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Billy has produced 33 top 40 hits in the U.S. and sold more than 150 million records worldwide. Whereas his achievements and influence have continued throughout a long, successful touring career, whereas since his first performance at Madison Square Garden on December 14, 1978, Billy has established an unmatched record of achievements at the world's most famous arena. Whereas Billy marks his 54th consecutive performance and 100th performance at Madison Square Garden, I, Andrew Cuomo, Governor of the State of New York, do hereby proclaim today, July 18th, as Billy Joel Day. Congratulations to Billy Joel.
Hey, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Cuomo. I'd now like to invite a very special guest, a celebrated New Yorker, a national treasure, a great artist, and a dear friend of Billy's. Please welcome Academy Award-nominated actor Chaz Palminteri.
Thank you very much. Thank you. A great philosopher once said that life is short, but art is long. And I never forgot that. And when I think of Billy Joel's music, and I think about life, life is short. We're only here for just a while. But Billy's art will be here for a very long time. For many, many years, people will be listening to Billy Joel's song. And I just want to say that everyone talks about his artistry and what he is as a singer-songwriter. But he's also a good man, and that's really important. And I think that's why when the governor said why New Yorkers feel that way about Billy is not only his music, is because of who he is and what he stands for. Billy is the working man. Billy is the guy who gets up in the morning, writes, just like the guy who gets on a bus, like my dad Lorenzo got behind the wheel of a bus. Billy is the working man, and people know and feel that. I am so proud to be here. I want to thank Jim Dolan, I want to thank the governor, and most of all, I want to thank the great Billy Joel. And one day, his children are going to grow up, and they're going to hear his songs, and people are always going to talk about the music of Billy Joel. Another great philosopher said, when people pass on, they pass on twice. Once when their body and their breath leaves them, and the second time is when the last person on earth says your name. Well, I know Billy Joel will be living in infamy. God bless you all. Thank you. God bless you, Billy.
Thank you, Chaz. Now, if Jim, the governor, and Billy could join Chaz over here on the stage. Okay. Over at the far end. We have a very special presentation that is going to be made.
Where do you want us next, Mike?
Yep, right here. We're gonna just grab this. You're gonna
Speak first.
Yep, yep.
Excuse me, Jim.
Okay. I'm just
Can everybody please step back a little bit? Thank you.
Back. You good?
Yep, we're ready.
Billy, of course, we could not allow this moment to go unrecognized. To commemorate this incredible milestone, which we truly believe will be a permanent record for the garden, we thought you deserved an exhibit in a very public space, Chase Square, the gateway to Madison Square Garden. It's a fitting reminder of all you continue to mean to the garden, to New York, and to music. Ready?
Go ahead and unveil it. Photographers, we're gonna get more shots after, so please, this is quick. All right.
Hey, Billy, what am I trying to say?
Okay. Hey, guys, so
Nice to have you all look this way, please.
we're done, we're gonna take other photos. Sorry. If everybody can go back, we're gonna finish.
Okay, there's going to be an opportunity for photos at the end, right after Billy Joel's remarks. So if everybody could just clear this area right here. Mr. Dolan is about to introduce Billy Joel, and then at the end of the program, we will have a photo opportunity for you. Jim.
Don't sit down, Bill. This man needs no introduction, Mr. Billy Joel.
Thank you. This is, what do you say, my cup runneth over. I remember being at the Garden almost 5 years ago when it was announced that we were going to have a residency here. I didn't really understand what that meant at that moment, and I realized later, we're like a sports team. We're like the Knicks or the Rangers or Liberty. It was a little overwhelming when I realized, what it really meant. And I've been very fortunate. Look, let's be real. I'm from New York. I was born in the Bronx. I grew up in Long Island. So this is my venue, Madison Square Garden. Fortunately for me, Madison Square Garden is a world venue. You can play almost any other arena in the country, and nobody else in the world is going to know about it. But when you play Madison Square Garden, the entire world knows that you played Madison Square Garden. So I'm very fortunate, just because of where I'm from, not to take the shine off of them, but what's that Henny Youngman joke? My father was the town drunk. The town was New York City. So there's a little, anyway. And the wildest thing is, a year ago to this day, July 18th, we closed Shea Stadium. 10 years ago to this day. And now here we are celebrating 100 shows at Madison Square Garden. I have to give credit to my agent who's sitting here, Dennis Arfa. This was his idea. He was talking about this a long time ago. I said, you're crazy, we can't do that. And he was crazy, but he was right. So I want to thank all of you for being here today, and all of our distinguished guests showed up for this, and all the people who would come to see us. Now we're about 2 million tickets sold for our shows here, and I couldn't think of a better way to peak in my life than this. And I want to thank all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Billy. And even though the statistic that I want to share with our friends is not included in my notes, I would be remiss without mentioning it as we are celebrating this historic achievement of 100 performances at Madison Square Garden. It's been 100 sold-out performances at Madison Square Garden. So, ladies and gentlemen, most of it in the round, yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this historic celebration. And now, over by the piano, you want to get over there? The photographers are going to take some pictures.